New Year's is crucial. New Year's is my favorite holiday because I love a fresh start.
Me too.
And I'm very like black or white, all or nothing. So I'm like, it's first day of 2024, only day capable of change because it's a new year.
Bitch, what I was trying to say is this situation got me so wet and so dry at the same time. Exactly.
What's up, bitches? Welcome back to another episode of So What, So Dry. I'm one of your hosts, Fiji, like the island, like the water. I like to wear headphones in public so people get the social cue not to talk to me, and I work in marketing and social media.
And it never works for you.
It never works, but I try, you know.
And I'm your other host, Autumn. Like the season, I like to play The Sims more than I like to exist in reality, and I work in entertainment. But if you guys are new here, welcome. What we do on So Wet, So Dry is we deep dive topics about sex, relationships, identity, all through pop culture, internet trends, and our community's experiences. So if you guys aren't already, follow us on Instagram at So Wet, So Dry and join our community of confused pussies. We post polls for every single episode, so we'd love to have you in on the convo.
So for this episode, we are recapping our sex, relationship, and identity growth in 2023, and we are projecting trends for 2024. Of course, we have polls, listener stories, all of those things, but we're going to start the episode, as we always do first, talking about what we're so wet and so dry about in this very moment. So I am so wet because I think I might spin the block on like someone I kind of used to talk to a little bit.
You said what?
Not that person, not the situation.
Yeah, I know.
Not that person, but I was on Hinge last night, and I'm like iffy. Like I've been texting like a couple people. Like I'd switched it to just women, and then I wasn't getting enough hits, so I switched it back to like men and women.
Fact.
And I came across on my Hinge somebody that I used to talk to, like right before the last person. But he's been trying to like get with me for like a year. We like kind of hooked up. Remember who I'm talking about? No, he's the one that ate my pussy when we were out. Like, I would always see him going out, but then he'd always try to hang out during the week, and I'd be like,
Yeah, I'm just, like, in between a few people. But anyways.
Okay. So I liked him on Hinge because I thought it would be funny, and he just, like, responded, and he was like, well, you could have just texted me. And I was like, I just wanted to, like, bother you on another app. And he like wanted me to come over tonight. I probably won't. I'm probably going to keep doing like what I've been doing with him this whole time, but I just love that he's still there.
It's not the younger one, right?
No, he's older.
Okay.
He has a kid, which was part of the, he's the only, after I broke my celibacy with him, like we didn't fuck, but
okay. Yes, I got exactly. You. Broke your celibacy.
I was talking to him like kind of, but like he's always like,
and
honestly,
he has
a really good guy. He has a kid. He's a really good guy, but like I don't know, like maybe it's just that I don't like good people, but like I don't know. Like
I am with you.
Yeah. But he's hit me up a couple times and he was like, "Where did you disappear to?" And I was like, "Oh, like I was kind of talking to someone, but like
it's over."
So we'll see. I don't know. I feel bad. He was like, "Yeah, you say maybe you're gonna come over, but I know you're probably not." And like he just knows me. But
oh my God, isn't that like when people say that to you? But it's kind of like sad because it's like, so then if you know that, then why are you talking to me?
He's really
it's their
like,
fault.
My back burner, like loyal, like holds it down, like he. And, like, he's the type of guy where if he ever gets with another girl, I would probably be, like, pissed. Like, I remember he posted a picture before and some girl commented and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you guys are just like, yeah.
But we're not, I don't know.
But that's wet.
At least I have him. Yeah, I'm wet about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
He ain't pussy good. So.
We love a distraction. We love a circle back. Okay. Yes, I'm with it. Yes. I am definitely so wet this week because I've just been having great phone sex over the past.
No.
And last night I did send a video of me finishing, my face wasn't like on it, or honestly, it was kind of dark in the video.
Just like pussy?
No pussy. Like it was just like it should have just been a voice memo. Honestly, there was no need for it to be a video because it was pitch black.
Okay.
But anyways, I don't think
That's hot.
I've ever done that before. Like I've sent videos, but I've never sent a video of me finishing. And even when I had OnlyFans, I used to fake that shit OD. Like they couldn't get the real thing. Like you know what I mean? So I was just like, it was pretty wet. Yeah.
Damn.
Cool.
I mean, I wish it wasn't with that person, but power, you know.
Power to
I
ya.
know she turns you on, so vibes. I was never big on sending videos. Like FaceTime sex, I can do, and like pictures, but like videos, it's a little bit more anxiety provoking while you're trying to masturbate. It's like the like pat your head, rub your stomach thing. Like I like the angle while it's a lot.
That's why when I was like taking the video, it's going up and down
because you're like
with my rhythm, bro. Because I had to watch it back. Like, what if something weird happened? Like, I hated watching it back, but like my phone was fucking jolting with the rhythm, and yeah. So, but I'm just wet about it because it feels good, and yeah. So moving on.
Yeah. We love some sexual pleasure. Okay, my so dry. This is like a complicated one. It's like a bunch of things, but I'm generally like so dry about, I feel like it's mostly men that be like, let's work, but they don't really have like shit going on. And I feel like it's also like the same guys that do that are like the same ones that will respond to me and Autumn's like clips of the podcast and like try to like argue with me.
Right.
And like, you know, like it's like they want this like attention or they want to like work together, but they don't really have like anything going on. So I'm like, why are you trying to like talk to me? And it's only a thing men do. Like I feel like with women, like it's always like a lot of like positive like whatever, or like they say like let's collab, but they genuinely like mean it and have like dates planned or like whatever. But like all these men, especially in Atlanta, there's a lot of creatives want to like collaborate, but they don't really want to collaborate. I feel like they just want an excuse to be in my DMs.
Right.
You know?
And it's also like this has been happening from the jump. Like even when we just launched like Fiji's DMs, like people always want to, and we get excited because we want to talk about it. But it's like if you're in my DMs trying to collaborate, but you don't have anything going on, like why do you think I'm stupid? Like,
and also like it also again, like any feedback on our podcast is like helpful. Like I'd rather have people pay attention than not. But
right.
Like when you like respond on some shit and then be like, oh, when can I be on it? Like when can I da-da-da-da? It's just like, you know, like if you listen to the podcast, guys, like we can't have guests because we are remote. And when we're in person,
where's the guest gonna go?
Like, where is the guest gonna go? Like, our template literally does not provide for it. And, like, I've told some of these people, like, maybe we could have you on when we're in person. But, like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I find it kind of disrespectful because I'm like, you're engaging with my content, but you don't even really know what I do. And then you think that I just need you to be a part of it is kind of like,
right.
Just men inserting themselves.
Right. It's so, I know. And it's like all they've seen is, like, one TikTok clip and you want to be on the pod. Like, why would you want to be on the podcast you've never fucking seen before? Like, shut the fuck up.
And then I asked them that. I'm like, have you ever listened to an episode? And
no.
like, oh, no,
I've seen the clips.
All right.
No more posting clips then. We're done.
Right. You guys don't deserve them. We're done with the clips.
Right.
Like, fuck y'all.
Yeah, bro. That's fucking annoying. It's been happening all year long. Genuinely, since we first launched. Even though we didn't launch till March, but we've been working on this for like, I don't know, 6 years it feels like.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Literally.
My dry is kind of stupid, but basically, if you guys don't know, like Fletcher is my favorite music artist. She dropped a song last Friday. And I'm sorry it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, me and my one of my good friends out here were talking about it because we're both like fucking super fans. I go to every concert with her, and she's like, "It's boring." There, I said it, and like we feel bad.
Damn.
And like it's happened to me with some of her songs before, and then like 3 months later, I'm like, okay, it's actually cool, but I'm just bored. And then my friend was like, she's not hurt enough. Like her good music was when she was heartbroken, and now she's like happy, and it's not good.
No, that's so true, though, especially when it's, like, your favorite artist. Like, I will listen to the album or the song even if I don't like it because I'm just, like, loyalty, like, whatever.
Right.
But you're just like, damn, like, you're kind of letting me
And
down.
I was so excited. And also, Tate McRae dropped a new album. I feel like, and then my friend was like, honestly, that girl just wants to dance. Like, someone let her, because why is she singing?
Yeah.
And like, I think she has a really good voice, but definitely she's dancing above. So yeah, it's just disappointing, but it's fine. Will I still go to Fletcher's concert next time she's in LA? Yeah, for sure. Like, I love the majority of her music, but some of the songs I'm just like, no, mija. Like, I don't want this.
That's so crazy too, because guys, me and Autumn like share a YouTube account for So Wet So Dry.
Stop!
Honestly. So like I'll be on like the So Wet So Dry YouTube account, and I got the notification for the Fletcher like new song, and I almost listened to it because you've been bugging me about, and like I've listened to some of her stuff, but like it was like
I know.
I feel like I just
it is
haven't
kind
given
of
it the time. But I didn't listen to that one, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because if I did, maybe I would have liked that one. I don't know. Maybe we have different tastes, and
I promise you wouldn't have. Like, I agree.
Okay.
Her music is kind of but at the end of the day, it's like the lyrics and like her and like the story that really gets me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to like go to my personal. It's just because So Wet So Dry is my like primary. I don't know how to switch it. So like, yeah, Fiji literally can see everything I'm doing. That's so embarrassing. But
I mean, you can see me too, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Like I've stalked old situationships and like crushes.
I know, yeah,
that's on our YouTube.
I've definitely
be on our For You page, yeah. So it's fine. We know each other too well. Anyway.
All right, guys. So let's get into it. As Fiji said, today we are recapping 2023. How did our sex lives go? How did our relationships go? How did our identities grow? We are gonna find out. And we're going to start off with the first poll that we asked y'all, which was essentially, which category did you grow the most in 2023? And the winner was identity with 60%. I feel like we all just be single and working on ourselves, so that makes sense. Relationships, 27% said they grew the most in their relationship part of their life. And then 13% said sex. That's depressing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you think about it, it's like, how do I grow in my sex life? But it's like pretty obvious. It's like you grow in your sex life from like figuring out what you want, fucking the right people, like that sort of shit. But I feel like having identity win that poll is kind of a flex, because at the end of the day, like, it is kind of the most important. You have to have your identity and you're self-centered to be able to grow your relationships and your sex. So that's great.
Right. It's like the foundation of like the rest of them. And I agree. I feel like for me, 2023 was about personal identity for sure. Sex and relationships, not as much, but we'll get into it. And I also feel like it's interesting that sex is the lowest because our sex episodes do the best.
So everyone's fucking.
Why. Yeah. Or people are, but they want to be figuring out how.
Right.
So like, because we figured out one of our kinks this year too, like the name for it.
The name for it. Exactly, bro. We really identified that shit. It's exhibitionism. You guys should listen to that episode. It's a pretty long time ago, but it's still good.
Right.
Still stands. I feel like my identity too, definitely not relationships and sex. I've barely been having it. I've literally been celibate like this whole year. Like, what the actual fuck? But I feel like I've been celibate because like my relationships have been, you know, either long distance or absolute trash. And I just, so I would like to say identity, but I don't feel like I grew as much as I think I should have. But I don't think I give myself enough credit. I feel like shit sinks in later.
Either.
So I'm still not really hip to all the work I did yet. You know?
Yeah, I feel like you've grown a lot because we kind of talked about this briefly before this episode, and we'll get into it more when we talk about identity specifically, but I think Autumn doesn't give herself enough credit, guys.
Yeah, so. I know.
It's fine.
Because it's not enough. I need more. I should be dancing at the Billboard Awards right now. Like, bro.
Yeah. We should be at the Spotify Wrapped fucking party.
Like, we would look so cute there, bro.
Like, guys, the vlog we would create, it would be so cute.
Iconic.
All right, so let's kind of switch gears and talk about the trends of 2023. We did some research. We pulled from past episodes. We pulled from our own brains and kind of just looked at the trends of sex, relationships, and personal identity in 2023. So one of the biggest ones that we've talked about a lot throughout our episodes is just women expecting more. And this was in our dates one. We talked about women wanting more than coffee dates. We talked about women wanting more like financially for men to pay for the date.
They want $2,000 before they fuck.
They want dinner dates, no coffee. They don't want to be pen pals, like all that shit. And then men getting mad about it and saying, you know, what are women bringing to the table? So
we love when men get mad.
Trend.
Yeah.
We love when men get mad. So I don't know. That was kind of like end of 2023. So I feel like that's kind of going to lead into 2024. But any thoughts on that?
I feel like it just, shut the fuck up. Any thoughts on that, Autumn? I love you. I do have some thoughts on that. I think we've said it in other episodes. I think it's because like women are killing it. Like you said, I wasn't hip, but the pay gap be closing.
Yeah.
And like women be killing it in so many areas. And that's where you got the sassy men, the men being mad. But I feel like women that are, you know, just like normal people are just seeing all these women killing it and be like, we should expect more. And it's like the reparation shit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys treat us like so bad. And so now we just want to go over the top. And Fiji and I definitely don't. Like, I would love for someone to spend $2,000 on me before we fuck, but I'm not like that type of bitch. And sometimes I wish I was. Right. But I definitely think it's just a huge fucking trend. And I think TikTok and all that shit, like the community and the spreading information like wildfire, like really sparked something in women this year. And it's pretty fucking hot. I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. Like raising your standards. I feel like I've definitely made some progress on that this year-ish. But I mean, me and Autumn still feel like, ish. But we still feel like a little bit differently than, like we said, like a lot of women who say that you need to spend $2,000, like women on TikTok. Even coffee dates we talked about, like sometimes like those we might be okay with.
Like I'm down. Yeah.
Like I'm down, you know? So it's kind of iffy. The men like asking what women need to bring to the table. I fucking hope that stops in 2024. Like I hope you guys get a fucking clue.
What don't we bring to the table, bro?
And the reason that women are raising their standards so much is because men are not coming with like anything from the jump. So like
it's your own fault.
Hopefully men learn that. Hopefully men fucking learn that.
Yeah.
But like kind of with that, another trend of 2023 was women going celibate, like the whole femcel thing we talked about in our Gender Wars episode. And like Autumn said, she's been celibate. I was celibate for like
not
the
on purpose.
First 6 months. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I know because you could.
That's true. That's very true.
If you wanted to go out and fuck someone, you could.
Anyone I wanted.
Right, exactly.
No, but yeah.
But we started the year with some like a bad like which
we started the year with some bad sex. Yeah. And we were like it was so scary because we were like this is going to set the tone for a whole year, and did it? Maybe. I don't know, because my sex life was trash, but yeah, this New Year's, I'm definitely going to fucking masturbate myself to sleep. I'm not fucking, you know what I mean? Like, New Year's is crucial. New Year's is my favorite holiday because I love a fresh start.
Me too.
And I'm very, like, black or white, all or nothing. So I'm like, it's first day of 2024, only day capable of change because it's a new year. Like, January 2nd is too late if you didn't already change already. You know what I mean? So... But yeah, what were we fucking talking about? Oh yeah, I was going to say, I think women going celibate is a direct like cause and effect of the whole like gender war shit we got going on. Like it makes sense, you know, and it's fucking sad. But I also think it's good to really learn how to masturbate and love it because masturbating's lit, you guys. It's so fun and cool. Vibrator, hand. Okay, so this next one we feel really passionate about. Super important, but there's definitely been more queer women in media in 2023. Obviously, like in front of screen, behind screen, like every year it gets a little bit better. And we have like people like Ice Spice, Fletcher, G Flip, which I don't know.
Yeah, with the girl from Selling Sunset. What's her fucking name? She's my favorite though on Selling Sunset. Yeah.
Oh, that's Krishan. Were they both on it?
They're dating.
Yeah.
She's dating G Flip.
Yeah, G Flip is non-binary, I think, but they're so fucking hot and like definitely like there's just so, and even in TV shows as well. Like Euphoria wasn't this year, but like that was a real good one. And I just
Barbie movie, which wasn't like inherently queer, but remember we talked about the Barbie movie and that was
like weird Barbie and like all that shit. Yeah, and I just feel like it's so cool, like, because when I was growing up, it was, like, Pretty Little Liars and, like, Glee. And like those were just like side characters. But I feel like
Yeah.
now you're seeing like so much more. Even this one movie I watched recently, The Fallout, there was like mad lesbian, like, and they were like high schoolers, like they were like 15. Like I feel like a lot of times in the media, it's like queer people are older because it's like comes off as so sexual and like they have to
Yeah.
be old enough to have figured it out. But it's like queer kids are like totally a fucking thing. And like you don't
Yeah.
see that really anywhere. But in The Fallout, I swear they were like 15. But it's just really fucking cool. I love it.
Yeah, I actually was watching some new show on Netflix. It was like kind of like a high school like ghost thing, but there were like queer characters in that. I feel like every like high school college show, even though they're not really
Oh,
getting
the
Gen
High
Z
School
right.
Spirit show?
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah, I watched
There's
a little bit of it. There was totally queer characters. My roommate
Yeah.
loves that show.
No, it was really good. So definitely like and bisexuality, I think especially like you said, like Ice Spice Fletcher, like I
Right.
feel like we would see like caricatures of like the gay man or like the like lesbian, but like we wouldn't see like people being both, like
Yeah.
bisexuality and pansexuals and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Oh, and
that was
also
definitely cool.
Never Have I Ever and Ginny and Georgia, both Netflix shows, both have like amazing queer storylines. Those were super
Yeah.
popular like in the Netflix ratings this year. I love those shows. They're kind of corny. It's like
I
fucking
watched
high
half
school
of
shit.
it, but I liked it.
I love
And
those
Sex
kind of
Life
shows.
too.
Yeah.
Was that this year? That was that blonde girl, she like sings too.
Right.
She's really hot. Okay, so another trend that we saw, and I feel like this really has to do more with like personal identity, but because like TikTok has become this space for a lot of like women and like influencers and like girl trends, we've seen a lot about like girl dinner, like I'm just a girl, like, oh, she's mother. Like there's so much more like girly things. Like bows were really popular in fashion, like a lot of like just feminine stuff that
Right.
we may have used to seeing as like, oh, you're just a girl, like you're a sissy or pussy, like whatever.
The bimbo
We've, like
core.
reclaimed the bimbo core, like Y2K, like the Barbie movie. Like I think a lot of women have really like embraced their divine feminine qualities and like their femininity and like with their masculinity too, but like realize that it's okay to be soft and like all of these things. I think sometimes we go a little bit too far, but I definitely feel like for me that was really helpful this year because like I wasn't always comfortable with being super like girly.
And like wearing
You know?
pink OD. Like you
Yeah,
never used to
exactly.
wear pink in college.
Exactly.
Ever.
Exactly.
Unless it was like a
Exactly.
warm, dark magenta or something.
Right, or like all black and then like some, well, my hair was pink, but that was like
But
more
that's
like
different.
hair.
Yeah. That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I love that. I feel like this is also really true for like the younger generations of like girls. Like we are women, you know what I mean? But it's like I still like to be called a girl because being a girl is so cool. But I feel like you
Right.
see it a lot on social media with the younger girls. And it's just really cool because I feel like when we were that age, it definitely was not like that. And you
It
were
was more girl boss.
right. It was
we
more
talked
girl
about.
boss, outdated feminism, where it's like if you look like a Barbie, like everyone hates you. But now
Right, you
it's
try
like,
to be the man instead of like yeah.
and now it's more like we're just accepting of like girls and all of their differences and being like, I do want to be like other girls. I don't want to be like, I'm not like other girls. Because everyone would say that in high school, and maybe they still do. But I definitely think that it's growing in the right direction. And that's a really cool thing because growing up as a girl is like fucking hard as fuck.
No, literally hard as fuck. But on the other side of like gender too, and again, it's not totally binary, but there's also been with men the whole alpha males, blah 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 stuff, which we think is like toxic and disgusting. And I hope that stops in like 2024. But like there has been, like we said, like this big gender war. But I feel like on the women, girl, femme side of things, like it's been way more positive,
Right.
And, like embracing yourself and your personal identity. Versus with men, it seems to be like about control in relationships and like masculinity. So they're still figuring out their masculinity, but wish them the best in 2024.
Yeah, men are fucking losing their minds, honestly. But it's great. Like, I love to see them struggle. Like, yeah,
They gotta
bitch.
hit rock bottom before they go up. And I feel like this is their like breakdown right now.
Yeah.
They're like struggling.
Right.
They don't know who they are.
I know.
You know?
And that's like that episode we did this year about the dating lists and like all that shit. Or not the dating list.
The hating your girlfriend.
The hating your girlfriend. That was crazy. If you guys haven't listened to that episode, definitely listen. But that is like what Fiji's saying. It's like the men are just fucking popping off and honestly just being so like forward about their hate. Not that they haven't already, but it's definitely just like intense right now because of the fact that women are just, expecting more as they fucking should. But another big trend that we saw in 2023 was definitely the whole ethical non-monogamy, which I didn't even know what that word was. And then Fiji was like, bitch, you've done that twice with different people. And I was like, oh yeah, I get it. But anyways, because it's like, I basically did that because I was like, yes, like we have an agreement. Like, it's not just like a fucking free-for-all. And that's how most polyamory is. But I guess there's like a word for it. We love that. But I see it everywhere on dating apps, everywhere. Like, it's definitely, I feel like this is the year for like polyamory, like openness. And like in 2024, I honestly think it's just going to get even better because I think people are realizing that like monogamy, it's kind of the same as like a sexuality for some people. Like, I would argue it could be a little bit more of a choice, but like my first girlfriend, for example, like she just felt so uncomfortable about monogamy. Like, she hated it and she could never see herself doing it. She has not done it to this day. So in that case, I'm like, I really feel like polyamory is like her personal identity, just like we're bi or we're fucking, women, like that's just how it is. So, but I think it's cool because monogamy is not for everyone. Me and like Fiji and I are still trying to figure out like what the fuck we want. Yeah. But it's hard when you like go your whole life like thinking relationships have to be monogamous, have to get married, be committed. Once you're together, you never look or fuck or think about anyone else ever again. Like, it's scary, but when you're growing up and that's just how it is, you're like, okay. But then you grow up and realize that maybe there's other options. Maybe there's other people that want to do an in-between with you. Like, it's fucking cool. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, because people are getting married like later, having kids later, like all of those things. We're looking at our 20s like this is the fucking time, and like
marriage is
being
crazy.
Monogamous is like it's intense. Like, you're held down in that. So I think a lot of people, like, even if they don't want to be polyamorous like forever, like I feel like I'm kind of leading more towards that side of like a situationship, like whatever, where it's like we're not moving in together, we're not having kids, we're not getting married, we're not together, but like, other things besides just what has been fed to us by society and what a relationship should be.
Right, because you're like 10 years old. You look at like my family situation was definitely a little different. But like you look at parents in general. It's like all my friends' parents were together for 20 years. It's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, that's a beautiful thing for sure. But it is not for everyone. And the fact that we like thought it was. Like, we are humans. Like, we're versatile beings. Like, we're not supposed to just be like fucking held down. I sound like a man.
Handcuffed, like.
But it's just like, it's so true. And it's not like, okay, like cheat on everyone and it's okay. No, it's
that's
like.
why it's ethical.
Ethical.
Like, you have like conversations, and like we have an episode that we did about cheating. We have one about like girl code and like different relationships that can have like different standards. Like, maybe you can hook up with other people, but you just don't talk about it. Like, you don't need to share.
That was my classic situation.
Exactly, because sometimes you don't want to know and shit like that. But like ethical non-monogamy can be different for different people, but overall, like, I fuck with it.
And it's not easy. We know it's not easy. I fucking know it's not easy. I mean, I couldn't do it both times, but I damn tried. You know what I mean? I fucking tried. Those bitches made it hard. But anyways, overall, I think it's an amazing thing. And I just think it gives us more space to like explore our personal identity and just find out what works for us. And that's fucking hot. So I'm wet about it.
So the next one this is another TikTok one, guys. I was on TikTok a lot in 2023 because I spent a lot of time home alone. But another one that I saw a lot on TikTok was just people sharing like their dating story times like online. And then also like, on Hinge, there's voice prompts. People would share men's voice prompts.
Oh,
and, like,
on they would show like the Hinge and they would, yes. Okay. Yes.
And then, and like kind of like dress like the dude or whatever. And then like, it also makes me think of the Cheesecake Factory lady that like was like on the date and then like recorded this. But there's been this whole thing of us like sharing our like relationship, dating, life, and like things that used to be like with your friends or intimate, like a lot more publicly, like how we
Viral.
do. Like we talk about the kind of intimate details of our relationships a lot of times, and
We should
I've
not
seen
be.
Oh, right. I've seen some things that are like, you know, you shouldn't. And like for us, like I've thought, you know, that might make some people not want to be with me because I'm going to talk about certain things. I'm not going to talk about everything. But like the publicness of sex, relationships, and dating is a big thing right now. And I feel like it's going to continue into 2024 maybe, but I feel like it also might have like a backlash where people are like, well, they're afraid to date and go on dating story times or go on dates because there might be a story time after.
Right. And I feel like it's kind of good too, because I feel like in the past, it's like people would be scared to like open up about that sort of thing. But we just talked about this in another episode. It's like, you don't have ownership over anyone. Like you go on a date, like that bitch can tell whoever she wants what happened.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and it sucks, but like it's kind of a good thing. And I also feel like it has to do too with like TikTok and like all these social media platforms. It's like it's easier than it ever has been before to be a content creator. Like anyone can fucking do it. And you see these like dating story times going viral. It's just a trend. Everyone wants to hop on it. But I think it definitely will have a negative effect of like people that aren't down with social media or people that are very private about, you know, what they do. Like they're going to be scared to date for sure. But to that, I say, grow up. Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, like, not with everybody, but like with a good amount of the people that I've gone on dates with or like whatever, I've been like, look, I have a podcast and I might talk about you. Like, I would prefer, honestly, if you don't listen to my podcast.
Right.
Like,
like
but,
honestly,
I feel like I'm
listen.
at least upfront about it though, because I'm like, I realize that this is now a part of my life and like I share a lot. And if you do get into like a serious relationship with someone, like, I feel like you got to respect what they don't want you to share and like certain things. But I also feel like a lot of this comes from like women going on really trash ass dates and like sharing it online so other women can be like safer or like just have better standards. And there's a lot of like that going on. So, and I think that comes from like the sexual assault kind of stuff too. So I feel like it's like a double-edged sword. Like obviously like if you're going online to share your dating story time and just like be like mean, like I don't know, like
right.
I probably definitely have before in some of the stories I've talked about, but like use your judgment, I don't know, and be upfront.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like it also makes people like not feel so alone. It's like I went on this trash date and then you have women in the comments like kumbaya, like yes queen, like you know what I mean? Like that's the type of like girl code, like women empowerment. I'm with it because it's very raw and genuine, and it's like we do all share this like universal experience and of somewhat when it comes to like men and dating and just relationships in general. So yeah, I think it's cool. I feel like people can definitely be extra with it. Like I've told stories on the podcast for sure. And like sometimes I, you know, don't give full detail. Like I'm not like really calling people out. It could be about anyone, you know, but I give just enough detail where like it's a true raw story. But I think people are just like using their voice more. End of story, period. Like people are popping off. And I think if we didn't have platforms like TikTok, it wouldn't be happening. Like people don't do that as much on Instagram. Like it's really a TikTok thing, maybe Twitter. And also going off of that, it's like dating apps in general. Like they've been a thing, but I feel like in 2023, like people are really just like fed up with it and like want to meet people in person. Like that's taking like a higher priority in society, which I think that it should, but I think we all kind of resort to dating apps still because it's easy, it's accessible, it's fucking addicting. It's like a swiping game on your phone, like swipe right on life and like all like people be like saying shit, you know? Like it's just like a whole thing in our society and we can't really get away from it because it is like an easy way to meet someone. Right. But I think people are fed up because of all these date story times. It goes horribly. Like, it's not good. And I feel like we all think in our brains that, like, if we meet someone in person, it'll be, like, better. And it won't be like that. I don't know if that's necessarily true. But I feel like, and I also feel like Hinge is definitely the best dating app. I feel like everyone can kind of agree on that. I do have some people that like in my life that like fucking love Tinder though. I don't understand that. I am on Tinder right now. Probably gonna delete it, but I am on it.
Yeah, I prefer Hinge. Hinge is the only one I have right now, but I definitely agree. Like, my thing is though, like, I don't know if I'm in a place to meet up with the like people on Hinge. Like, part of me just wants to be,
absolutely not.
Pen pals vibes, because like once you meet in person, it's just like way more pressure. But that's just like where I'm at in my like.
And like women who are serious, like they don't want to be pen pals. They hate it. But I know that's where I'm at too. Like I'm fine with being pen pals because I don't want to meet you.
Yeah, like I'm not fucking there yet.
That's
but
so
I think
funny.
it goes off of like the commodification of dating kind of episode that we had like a while ago. I think back in like August, September, something like that. But it's
in
like
person.
People, like, yeah, people in person. People like are sick of this like constant like swiping. Like you have a 2-day conversation and then you ghost them, like whatever. Like people want more genuine connections. And I think that's going to be like a trend in 2024 too, because again, I don't know how I sit on that. Like the commodification of dating can be fun, but we'll see. I'm not looking for my person. So
I think it's hard too. Cause like I definitely romanticize things a lot. You guys know that. And like TV shows, movies, they never meet on fucking dating apps, bro.
Right.
They always meet in person, like at a coffee shop, and that's literally what I want so fucking badly.
Same.
Like basically all of my relationships besides the stupid man started in IRL. Either like we worked together, we went to school together, or we met up at a bar. Like it was all IRL and it was so good. Like it just hits better. It's never going to change.
You can romanticize it so much more. Like, yeah, same with, like, the last dude, like, the situationship I was talking to. Like, I feel like I put him in a higher place because I met him in person, like, naturally versus on a dating app. Like, only one of my relationships I met on a dating app. So, yeah, it's just, like, it feels more – because you can know a lot about someone's life by, like, searching them. Like, I always look up their Instagram.
I don't want to have all that info yet.
Right. And that's like, I was talking to one guy and he was like, oh, like, I saw you have a podcast, like, whatever, I'm going to wait to listen until I meet you. And I'm like, probably good, because you could listen to my podcast and know a lot about my fucking life. And I don't know if I want that. Like, I want to meet someone organically. So it's
where you're like strangers. Like, you don't know my name. I have to tell you, like, all that shit. But just to get back to the commodification of dating a little bit, I think it really just goes with like, people are like using their voices more. I feel like dating has always been somewhat commodified. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do think it's really popped off now, especially it's like everyone just feels like they have so many options. Like people are getting prettier, like surgeries. Like it's just very intense. And like, I feel like I can't keep up, but it's a lot. But I feel like at the end of the day, you guys, like if you meet the right person, it's not going to be this type of like dating commodification shit. I feel like that shit is really just like your first interactions with people, like you looking them up online, all that shit. But once you're like, I'm not like scared to be in love and like that this is going to follow that relationship, because I feel like once you get past a certain level, like you're good. But the beginning is where it's just been so problematic, bro. And it's like exhausting.
Okay, so the next one that we have for you guys is in terms of relationships. There's been a big trend with boundaries in 2023. And people like setting boundaries in their relationships for themselves, all of that, which honestly I've gotten better about. I feel like boundaries are a really good thing.
Yeah, you kicked someone out like recently.
I did. I was like, I just need this time by myself. Like, you got to go. I forgot.
You guys, Fiji is so like, that is her biggest problem. Because I feel like it's like the people pleasing shit. You want to make people feel good, comfortable, like they're not intruding when they are.
At the expense of myself and be like,
and then you suffer.
I've been putting myself first more because it's like, fuck that. Like, you should put your fucking self first.
Fuck that.
But the thing is with boundaries, while I think they're really good and really important, I think a lot of men have boundaries confused right now, and not just men, people in general, because a boundary is something that you set that you won't do. So like,
right.
You're like, I don't want a man who's a cheater. You don't date men who are cheaters. You can't be with a man who's a cheater and then be like, it's my boundary that you don't cheat on me when he's going to keep doing that. Like, because you chose to be with a man who's a cheater and you can't change him. Does that make sense? Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was a big thing. I feel like it was at the beginning of 2023 with Jonah Hill, who like, honestly, as far as like comedians and actors and like men in entertainment go, I like Jonah Hill. You know who he is, right? Right? Yeah. I like Jonah Hill. Like, I think he's cool. Like, he has like a documentary thing on Netflix about therapy and his therapy journey, which is like interesting. But he had a girlfriend named Sarah Brady, and she had posted their text, like I forget if it was on TikTok or Instagram, or like she talked to a news outlet or whatever, and she posted like screenshots, and he said, quote, "These are my boundaries for romantic partnership." And then he said, "No surfing with men, no swimsuit selfies, no friendships with, quote, women who are in unstable places." And then continued and pretty much said that's like what he learned in therapy, and those are his boundaries for a relationship. But as you guys can see, he had it wrong, because you can't, that's not a boundary.
No,
like, if you
friends,
set that,
you can't be friends with women who are unstable. Everyone's unstable.
Everyone's unstable. And like, you can't force your boundaries upon someone else. Like, if he doesn't want to date her, she's literally a surfer too. I think that's like her fucking job. So like, what do you mean she can't post surfing, whatever? But like, that's someone who's trying to like say they learned this thing in therapy, and then they're trying to push it on someone else when it's really just they need to leave the situation. So I hope that we understand boundaries more in 2024.
That's so
and realize
true.
It's us, not other people, you know?
Yeah, because it's like boundaries were huge in 2023, but it's like, you got to get it right, though. I did literally the other day, you guys. So this was like, I told this story on the podcast. I don't remember what episode, like 3 or 2 ago. I don't know. But anyways, my ex-girlfriend was like dating someone new, and we started working together, and we were like trying to talk, but like she was dating someone. So like I wasn't like allowed to flirt or anything. So I was just being so toxic. I was like, honestly, like, leave me alone. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And then she was like, okay, like, I respect it. Like, I won't. And I was like, what? So you just never want to talk to me again? Like, that, like, you're just fine? You never want to talk to me? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, when you said you could set a boundary that you don't do, that is literally me. So I get it. I feel like I am also on this train of, like, not really being the best with boundaries, because I know what my boundaries are, but it's like I break them, not them. I break them.
Yes, and I do too.
And I get upset.
And then I get upset, like, even how you were saying with the guy in my place, like, I kicked him out, but I think it's different when it's like someone in your house or like whatever. Like, I'm setting the boundary that I don't want you here anymore. I want to be my.
It's hard.
Myself. But I have a bad thing of like letting people cross my boundaries over and over, but never communicating my boundaries to them or removing myself from the situation.
So they don't know.
They're not even aware. Like, you can set a boundary as like, don't touch me. And then if someone touches you, they're like crossing your boundary. That's different.
Clear as day.
But in terms of like their personal identity, what they do online, blah, blah, like that, you can't have control over. You got to remove yourself.
Right. Like, that's not a boundary. Fucking idiot. Like, that's you controlling a woman. And like, a boundary needs to come from like an I statement. I need this, not like you.
But he's saying it like that. He's like, these are my boundaries. I don't want women who surf with men or whatever. He's like saying those things, but then
it's like twisted.
Like, people manipulate it. And I think that's also, I didn't really put this in here as a trend, but like people misunderstanding therapy language and like using it to their benefit rather than what it really should be.
Yeah.
But I think boundaries would be maybe an interesting episode for us to do, because I feel like we've both struggled with it, like setting our own boundaries. And I feel like a lot of people like still get it confused.
Right.
So, like, that could
I think I struggle with following the own boundaries that I set, because I think it's like hot and like sexy to break them. Like, it's fucking stupid. Like,
well, because it is like a kink thing. Like, again, sex and really.
We should definitely do an episode on that. Honestly, I'm gonna write that down. There's so much to say about boundaries, but I think ultimately you nailed it. Like, they're a huge trend of 2023, but the trend is not necessarily people doing it correctly. It's people doing it incorrectly for their advantage and being like, "Oh, I went to therapy," but it's like, nah, bro, you still got it wrong, so you got to go back. I don't know. Like, you're not done in therapy, sir. Least though. which means ready in Spanish. Okay, so basically this next one is going to be kind of like, I don't know if this is like specific to 2023. You guys could be like, Autumn, you crazy. But I felt like in the queer community, like it used to be very like dom femme, like one or the other. But I've personally seen like so much more representation of like those blurred lines. And like I've always felt like a femme, but I don't think I'm just femme. I'm definitely not masculine. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't like to dress in masculine clothing. That doesn't even like, what does that even mean? I don't know. But I'm definitely more femmy, but I feel like it's like there's all these blurred lines, and I feel like it's growing up too is always like, okay, the femme lesbian has to be with the mask, and the mask is going to be the dom one. But it's like, no, like there's so many mask fucking bottoms out there, and I've been seeing them more like in social media, like even these like queer OnlyFans accounts that I've like kind of not followed their OnlyFans, but I've supported them like on Instagram and stuff. They're like queer people. And it's like the mask, you know, it's just, I've just seen different things. And it's very like, are you a top or a bottom? But I feel like I'm seeing a lot of switches now. It's like people are just like, I'm a switch. Because at the end of the day, we're all switches. Like no one wants to have sex the same way every single time. I might want to. But honestly, I don't. But most people don't. Like you got to switch it up. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, being a pillow princess just sounds cool. But I know it's bad. But anyways, I just mean like I love the blurred lines. I love how it's kind of changing. I just remember like when I was coming out, it was very much not like that. And I think it's like the new generation. Like we are Gen Z, but we're at the end of Gen Z. I think the like early, you know, late Gen Zers, I guess we're early Gen Zers, but they are really doing that. Like the queer kids are popping off, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, honestly, that makes me feel better that you say that, because sometimes like I feel like I would look at like queer women from that lens of like top, bottom.
It's hard
like,
not.
Femme,
so do
whatever.
I.
Like,
yeah.
But being like newer into the like queer community, like you had already been in the queer community, so I thought it was just like my education on the queer community and being like, okay, like even though she's dressed like a femme, like she could still be a top. And I've had that experience with women that I've had sex with where I was like, whoa, I did not expect her to be a top, but like she was.
And that could be
so
you like, too, babe. Like,
honestly, I mean, sometimes like I feel like I sometimes do dress like a little bit more dom femme.
You give
like
dom
more,
femme hard. Like as
I don't
fuck.
Think I don't think I'm really.
I know you're like
I'm more of a bottom, but even with men, like I don't think I'm a pillow princess. Like,
no,
I like
you're
to
not.
be on top. Like I like to like lead things, initiate things, run shit. Like for sure. So I think it's just like gender roles, and also looking at things away from like just heterosexuality, like who's giving it and who's taking it. Like no, like it's more complex than that. You know.
I know, and I love that so much. Yeah. No, I feel like you're definitely a switch, because I feel like everyone is. Again, it's like we all get in these certain moods. Like I'm definitely like bottom as fuck, but I think it's because I just have the most experience being like a feisty, submissive little fucking
a power bottom. No,
what'd you say?
Maybe a power bottom.
That's okay. Yes, that's a word. I've honestly been called that before. But I don't think it's cute. I'm not proud of it. Like, I don't want to get a pin that says bottom on it, because I'm just like, bottom gives like, oh, you don't want to please other people. But it's like, I can't help what my sexual preferences are. Like, people can like get off just like pleasing. I don't think I would be able to. Maybe. And I just haven't met her yet, or him.
But with men you have.
Like when I'm sucking dick. Yeah, because I love sucking dick.
Yeah.
I know.
So but I have a hard time. Like, I feel like it's sexual confidence with me, and like experience, like you said, with women. Because I feel like I've had plenty of experience with men, so I have no problem doing that.
Right.
But, like, with women, I'm more scared. And I'm like, oh my God, am I doing it
right?
Dude, like you said, like eating pussy is like a journey that you're about to go into. Like,
I know. And I've been with so many women, but I have not. I sound like such an asshole, but I have not like ate pussy that much. So I honestly feel like a virgin in that department. I haven't ate it in so long. Like it's been like, I don't know, it's girlfriend number 2 the last time. That was fucking 3 years ago. Like I've just been sucking dick for the past 2.5 years, and I don't know what to do. But anyways, this is a personal identity crisis. But bottom line is we love the blurred lines, and I hope it rolls into 2024 because I think people like you already are being put in a box if you're, pan, bi, lesbian, and then you got the dom, femme, the switch. It's exhausting. Can we all just calm down? Like, I want to be different on any different day, and that's it. So
exactly. So that kind of wraps up like most of what we think were the trends of 2023, but we're going to dive into them a little bit deeper as we get into each category. But we asked you guys first, how do you feel overall about the growth of your personal identity in 2023? And this was the one that you guys felt the best about. We had 71% of you guys felt wet about it, which is great. We had 25% feeling confused, and then we had only 4% feeling dry. So I would say that's I definitely feel wet as fuck for the most part about my personal identity. Like, personal identity is always fucking growing. Like, you're never done throughout your whole fucking life. But in 2023, like, we did launch the podcast. Like, we became, like, legit official content creators, podcasters, like, whatever. Like, I know, it's cringe. But, like, we found more of our voice, I think. And I feel like I found more, like, comfort with just, like, being alone and like knowing who I am. Like, again, when it bleeds into relationships, I feel like I still have a hard time like maintaining my personal identity when I'm with someone and like not letting them like not control it but like influence it. But like as far as like when I'm by myself, when I go out like with friends, like overall I feel like I've just gotten a lot more confident in like who I am and what my values are and like what I want to do.
Right. Because it's like you have to work on in the relationships, like still putting yourself above them. It doesn't need to be like this, but at least like this. Exactly. Yeah, if you guys are just listening to audio, I was gesturing with my hands, but it's fine. Yeah, I feel like with the podcast, like I've definitely like tripped out ever since we like launched about like, oh my God, like am I being too much? Like I really am like being like the most kind of unhinged and raw version of myself, which is scary because I'm not like this. Like honest to God, you guys, like I feel like people think they'll meet me and I'm just like, blah, but I'm not. Yeah. Like, I'll just be like, hey, what's up? Like, so it's weird. But at the end of the day, like, every time we do this and record and watch an episode, like, it feels right, like, in my soul, not to be dramatic. So I'm like, it's right. Like, I need to keep going because I think, like, I've struggled with using my voice my whole life. And now we have a whole platform where we fucking talk for 2 hours. So, like, it's pretty crazy. So I'm definitely wet about that. I feel like I've like done well, like especially in the past like 5 months, just like identifying like what I want to change in my life. Have I really gotten there yet? I don't know. But I think like I feel good going into 2023 that like I've done a lot of work on myself, but it's just like so much that I want to do that I'm not doing. And I think like what holds me back is like motivation. Like I'm just talking like I want to like exist in the world more. Like I feel like all I do is work and it's just like there's hard things you can't really get around that. And like I've also been unemployed this year and I still didn't do it. So it's like why even blame it on work? Because it's just like hard. But overall I definitely feel the wettest about this out of the 3 categories we gave y'all. So it seems like we're aligned in that way. But I feel like for those of you that said you're confused about your identity, I also feel like I would, put a foot in that fucking bucket too. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, because we still do all the time. Like, just like, so you guys know, like, I feel like the podcast for us, like, filled this, like, sort of void and, like, we needed to express ourselves more, like, creatively and, like, be able to exist in this duality between being slutty and smart. And like sometimes we still trip and we'll watch episodes back and like cringe at ourselves and be like, oh my God, like because you fix yourself a little bit in different environments you're in, and both of us are very different in our day-to-day work versus who we are.
Like you guys would be
on
shocked
the podcast. Like we literally go by different names.
Bro, like it's a whole like just complete switch, and it's not like I feel like either or is like more me. Like I honestly feel like it balances well, but this is definitely more fun.
Yeah, and I feel like this has a space for us to be both and kind of show the duality more, because like we do still do research and like try to pull like smart things and like all of that, but like we fix ourselves to be like more corporate, and like we are still, like we say, like we talk about crazy sex stories, but like we spend a lot of the time in the house doing like boring regular fucking shit. So like I feel like it was like hard for me to even like put in my mind that I can like still be this like unhinged, like crazy former party girl, slut, like whatever, former stripper, like, and then exist now in this, like, even doing the podcast is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's performing, but it's also us, and then it's also work. So it kind of encompasses everything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely still a journey. I mean, like watching yourself back and putting out so much of yourself online.
Right.
Definitely is trippy, but it also reflects it back to you. So I feel like that's been helpful for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like too, it's like not only like do I struggle with like, can I do this? Like, can I be like these two different? But it's like, will someone love me if I am? That's the part that I feel like we struggle with it the most. And it's because of that. Because I think that we know I do love myself doing this. Like, I think it's fucking fun. And I think the right person will get it. And not like be like, oh, why do you talk about your ex so much? Or why'd you say this? Why'd you say that? It's like, I'm literally like, we plan shit, but what comes up when we talk, I'm not thinking about it, pre-planning it. It's just like verbal fucking throw up. Like we just go. Yeah. So, and I think it's like, that's why we really let you guys in, because we're not planning. We don't edit these episodes much. So that being said, it's scary. Like it's but I think overall our personal identity, like just has a lot to do like with this podcast, especially how it's so much about duality. But we obviously have grown. Like you guys are listening right now. So thank you.
We're definitely more confident, I think, than when we started in our like first couple
that episodes. Like wasn't us in our first couple episodes. And those were imposters. I don't know who those people were.
And I've also like another thing is just I've become more confident with like saying that I do content create or that I am a podcaster.
Right.
Because I used to like be afraid
because it's low key embarrassing.
It can be embarrassing, you know, like
if you don't have a million Spotify followers, if you do, it's not embarrassing. But I feel like it's just like, oh, you just want to be like everyone else. And like part of it is like, no, we don't want to be like everyone else. Like we went to an art school for college. Like we've always been creative people. To be honest with you, like this isn't my first choice of what I want to be in a TV show. I want to be writing a TV show and for us to be, you know what I mean? But like, this is like a way to really let people in. Like, I feel like we have such different viewpoints that it's fucking interesting. So it just works. But I know sometimes it's like, I have a podcast. Like I say it quietly. Yeah.
No, me too. But I feel like I've gotten better about being like, okay, like this.
When we're together, I don't care.
When we're together, but like we said, we're like in the house a lot of the time too. So it's like,
it's hard.
But thinking about like future and like, I feel like I'm like liking myself more and who I'm growing into.
Me too.
You know,
100%.
Like that is the biggest.
Like I'm cool. You know what I mean? Like these bitches out here are whack. Like I just feel
I like myself.
I'm different.
I love myself. I'm fucking dope, bitch. But I definitely like feel you with the relationships part of things.
Yeah, it's
and like
terrifying.
The personal identity. Like that's a lot. So let's kind of get into relationships.
Yeah,
You want to read that poll?
So the next poll we asked y'all was, how do you feel about the growth of your relationships in 2023? And to be honest, I don't want to talk about this one at all, but we will. 50% of y'all said you feel wet about the growth of your relationships, and good for fucking you. Okay.
Happy for you.
And dry was 29%. And confused was 21%. So dry and confused are pretty similar, and 50% of y'all are wet. Let's take into consideration that relationships, we're not just talking about romantic partners. So like this could be like you grew your relationship with your family, you got new friends, like all that. For me, I feel like maybe I did strengthen my relationship with you, my roommate, my mom, maybe. But like, bro, it's just not really been good over here. I've been heartbroken more than I've been happy. And I can't move on from people. Also, I have like a big fetishization of the past. Honestly, it's not even romanticizing. I'm like fucking fiending for the past. have I met great people that like maybe changed my life? Yeah, for sure. For sure. But I'm more dry, I'm sad, and I'm very frustrated, disappointed, and also confused about the state of my relationships right now.
Yeah, I think I put
I'm like
me first
turning
for
red.
this
This
one.
is so, I hate, because it's just so rough right now, bro. Like low key for both. Okay, you talk. How do you feel?
I feel mostly confused, honestly. Like I would say dry as well. Like for the beginning half of the year, like I was just very like fuck everybody. Like I had a good friend group. And then some of my friends moved away, and
I
then another
know.
part of my friends were like my going out friends, and I just kind of like reassessed my friendships.
Couple
And I'm
bitches
still
fucked you
friends.
over.
A couple bitches really fucked me over. Like as far as where I am with like friends, I would say like again, like me and you, great. Like I have like a couple people that I'm like cool with, but like I just spent a lot more time alone
Same.
and a lot more time like away from just like party friends, which I think is like good for me overall, but I still would like friends to go to fucking yoga with and
Or like
like that type of
shit. Because
Yeah.
is that just like a part of also like being this age, like 25, 26, like, because we hear everyone say, and like, it's no one tells you how hard it is to make friends as like an adult or whatever.
Adult.
Because it's so true, but it's also like we also went through like a fucking pandemic and like social
Yeah.
anxiety. Like I feel like some people just stopped going out. Period. Like I'm kind of one of
Yeah.
them. Like I'm just like it's just been weird. But I feel you. It's like I really want more people. But also I've always been the type where it's like I have a few like really solid,
Right.
and then everything else just kind of it falls off because I can't prioritize all these people. I can really only do like 3 or 2 at once.
Yeah, and that's my thing is like I don't feel like I've had a hard time making friends and like having people in my life, but like I think it's the quality of the friendships and the type of friendships because like I feel like it's being in our 20s, the pandemic, like spending a lot of time alone, but like I also feel like me and you with the podcast are very like driven in what we do and it takes up a lot of our fucking time too. And I'm like kind of in a place where like I was going out a fucking lot and it's cool and it's fun and it was great for networking. I met a lot of dope people, but like I want friends who are also going after their own thing and like who I'm not going to hang out with every week because I'm busy by myself, you know? So it's like that kind of thing. Like I don't know where to meet those people because I'm also pretty broke right now and I feel like you meet them at like
Yeah.
fucking yoga.
Yeah, because
or
I
like
honestly I feel like both of us like kind of do have like a I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Definitely correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of a history of like codependent friendships. Not
Yes.
necessarily codependent, it's like you have that one best friend that's like your
What
ride or die. And I love that. Like I love that. But I think it makes it hard to like do that kind of because now it's like we don't have time for that type of best friend because I have to do
Right.
this. I have to fucking work to pay my bills. Like in college, we could just fuck around, never leave each other's side. It was fine.
Yeah.
We were just, who knows, like what we were doing. But so I feel like it's hard and it's like, I don't want to, like, I want that type of friendship or nothing, but I don't want that type of
Yeah.
friendship with too many people. So it's just kind of weird. Like we need just like, regular people that are like also going after stuff so they're busy but will like make time for us and like we can go out and also do like day-to-day shit because it's easy to
Yeah.
meet party friends, like anyone can do that, like not anyone, but it's harder to meet like a person
like
who,
genuine relationships. Yeah, and the codependency thing, like I totally feel because I feel like I have a trend of having like codependent friendships.
because
So,
our
like,
friends
where they're
before
our
us
friendship before us, and then every like I had a roommate that I was codependent with. I had a friend in it towards the end of 2022 that was staying with me 24/7. Like I've had like a lot of like people that just like sleep over a lot and like we're like together all the time
and wear your clothes.
Right, and I feel like it's very black and white for me where like I know I can like veer that way. So like maybe I just need to isolate myself and like know who I am more, which I feel like was this year. But yeah, friendships, I don't know. I'm like honestly like I'm in a pretty good place about it though. Like I feel like I want to make it a thing in 2024 to like meet more genuine people, but like at the same time I think I'm happy with where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm not like
in terms of friendships.
right.
But like
The romantic shit. Woo.
Like, guys, like
I'm just
like,
heartbroken
again,
constantly.
me too. Like I really started the year. I feel like I like said I wasn't heartbroken and like said I was fine and like I'm just focused on me and like blah 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 and the podcast and like whatever. But like I do think I was not completely like over. I was over my ex as a person, like him and being with him, but I was not over like the hurt of the relationship,
The trauma,
and I feel like
the
trauma, like all of that. And I feel like I've made progress in therapy and like getting over that definitely. But because of that, I feel like I isolated myself for a good portion of the year. I went on some really shitty dates just when I was having kind of manic episodes where I'm bored with like the wrong people, like wasting people's time, like whatever. And then I had a situationship that could like partially destroyed my like I don't think it destroyed my belief in love. I'm being dramatic, but like I will say that like I was not believing in love. I did not want a person, any of that. And then I met someone and I really wanted that. Like I think I wanted a relationship, which changed in 2023.
Right.
And now I don't know where I'm at. So that's a little complicated, you know?
I just feel like this whole year I've just been like, I'm emotionally unavailable. I'm not ready. But it's like how a whole year you're not ready? And I feel crazy, but it's like, but I thought I was, you know, at the beginning, like we had like that bad night of like sex at the beginning of the year, but then literally January 6th, I met my ex-girlfriend at work. Like
January 6th, that insurrection. When they stormed the Capitol, that should have been just okay, go on. I'm sorry.
But it was not that day, bitch. It was just
you said you met her January 6th.
Of 2023.
Yeah.
That's not when they
Yeah,
start.
right. But like,
it's the
January
day.
6th is like
I know. Of course it is. Honest to fucking God, of course it is. But anyways, so it's like, and I honestly like pushed, like I honestly, like you can fucking say whatever you want, but I think we really had something special. Okay, maybe still do. And I just wasn't ready. Like, I think I threw myself into it. I think, like, she was really excited because it was, like, her first relationship. Like, we definitely, lesbians be falling fast. Like, you guys know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I wasn't ready. My ex fucking did a number on me. Not only, like, my heart, but, like, my self-esteem as a human being. Like, being with a man that, like, fucking prioritizes BBLs will fuck you up if you don't have one. Like, it'll fuck you up. And I have a fat ass. Like,
you have a fat ass.
I'm not, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm good. Like, I shouldn't even be worrying. But anyways, he fucked me up really bad. Went into that relationship way too fast. Shouldn't have. I was like over him as if I don't want to be with him, but I was still like, it still stung way too hard. And he was still trying to like holla at me like sometimes. Yeah. So it was just too much. And then that, you know, crashed and burned. I fucking broke her heart. It was horrible. I've never broken up with anyone. This year I did. So in a sad way, it was kind of growth because usually I just stay. But I knew, like, in my heart, I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now. Like, unfortunately, it really didn't, like, have to do with her. I just, like...
It was yourself.
I wasn't ready, and, like, it was just too much. And I still feel like I'm not ready. Like, when I left her and I told her, like, I just need to work on myself. It's not that I don't love you. Like, I don't know when that was. I think it was, like...
That was, like, March...
Was it?
February?
It had to, I think it was like April. But anyways, whenever it was, I still stand exactly by what I fucking said back then. And I don't think it's because of my ex anymore. I think it's like my self-esteem and I'm just not where I'm at in life. And also like, I want to be like living in my like authentic, true self, like doing what I want to do, feeling motivated because then I think I can show up the best in the relationship. And I think it's hard when you get to 25, 26, like you're not just dating anymore. Like, and it's like, we're not like, you know, monogamy marriage bitches at all. But it's like, I don't want to just fuck around if you're not going to be like serious. So it's like, it was so much easier to date back then in like 19, 18, because it just didn't matter. You were just like, oh, why not? And I even like, this if you guys are like hip to gay drama, like if you know Shannon Beveridge, like her and Fletcher, like whatever. Shannon Beveridge has just been someone in the queer community where she's like a YouTuber. People know about her life, but she's known for being a serial monogamist and having so many breakups. Like she has these iconic relationships. Everyone obsesses. They're so cute. Then they break up. Like it's happened like 3 or 4 times now. And I literally Googled her age the other day because I was like, oh, she's 31. Like it's still okay to break up like when you're 31 because like I have this idea in my head that that's like a big L. Like breaking up at 32 is like so much more tragic than breaking up at like fucking 21. So I think that's what scares me. And I don't want to break up. I don't want to go through a breakup. So I want to be so damn sure that like I want this, you want this, like, you know. I just fucking popped off. I'm just like relationships.
No, but I feel that like so hard because like honestly, even with like the situationship I was in, like I didn't think I wanted to be with anyone like at all. And then I got feelings for him. And I was still like, even though I feel like I would have gotten into a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Like if he wanted to, I feel like I would have. But I still felt the same way where I was like, I'm 25 now. I don't want to go through another heartbreak. And I don't want to go through another breakup. So like I like tricked myself that like, oh, if we're in a situationship and if it's not official and like whatever, then it's not solid. And like I thought that I could grow myself, he could grow himself like at the same time, like together, and then eventually one day it would be like it would work out. And I feel like in a way like that's still kind of how I want to approach my relationships in 2024 is like I'm not like, oh, we're 25, so we're not gonna like fuck with each other at all unless I'm fucking sure. That's not how I feel.
Right. Yeah, no, me either.
But like I'm like okay with being kind of with someone.
But the full commitment is what's scaring me right now.
Yeah.
Because I also think that like you and I and so many other people like really do thrive on independence. Like although we hate being alone just like everyone else, but like I think it's like when you're single, you're not committed, you're independent, you have so much time to just worry about you.
Right.
It's like it's this feeling that's like no other. And like yes, being in love is amazing, but like Fletcher talks about this all the time. Like it's just hard to like lose that independence, and that's why I feel like monogamy is not the move, because with some type of ethical monogamy, you might be able to kind of feel that still and not have your partner be jealous and sad. Like they're okay, you're okay, the relationship's good. So I think that's what scares me too, because it's just getting older, and we're not even old, bitch. Like we actually need to calm down. We're 25. Like we're children. I don't want to grow up.
No, we're literally like not even old, and that's why we need to fucking like relax a little bit about it. Like we can go through another fucking heartbreak, but like
because we will.
That's exactly why my situationship ended things with me. Is he was like, oh, like I need to just focus on myself. Like I'm too selfish right now. I need to be like just by myself. And like the whole codependent thing. Like I think me and him were kind of codependent. Like we were hanging out like 5+ days a week. Like he was sleeping over every single night. And so I'm like lying to myself like, oh, like because we're not officially together, I can still maintain my identity. But like I was still switching parts of myself to be with him, and like, you know, oh, I'm gonna edit the episode tomorrow, or oh, I'm gonna do this then, because like I'm putting him first. And like that's something that I really like still want to work on, is being able to like prioritize myself while still loving because at the end of the day, it's like if me and him had done things right, and at the end of the day, like he's not my person. I think I was trying to do it with like the wrong person, and like I don't think I was there yet. I don't think he was there yet. But like ideally, if you set it up like that from the beginning, where you have this independence and not codependency, like
it could work.
It can be healthy.
But it's also like I feel the same way, where it's like there's no difference between like establishing commitment like verbally and like acting like you're committed, because that's the thing. It's like I could say, oh, I'm not your girlfriend, we're just having fun, but at the end of the day, if I love you, it's the same shit. It's like I'm still gonna think about you. And it makes it worse
by not communicating about it, because then you're just living in this delusion land where these things don't exist, and you're not like that's how I felt, because I'm like, we're literally pretty much in a fucking relationship the way we're acting. Yeah. But we're not talking about any of this shit, so it's just gonna build.
And I think I just realized this right now, but I think me breaking up with someone for the first time this year like also gave me like a newfound fear that I've never had of like hurting someone else, because up until her, I had only been hurt. I'd never hurt anyone.
Yeah.
They were like, I'm leaving you. So now it's like, and now I'm scared to hurt someone else again, because I'm like, oh shit, like now I was like the bad guy, even though we're all just doing what's best for ourselves. Like even the people that fucked me over, it's fine. But it's just like, now I'm scared of that too. I'm scared of being hurt, and I'm scared of hurting, because I'm like addicted to this fucking independence, like free lifestyle. But at the end of the day, like I still want you. Like it's so confusing.
And that's same, because like I should have ended it with my situationship. Like I talked to my therapist about it. Like it was clear that I shouldn't have ended it, but I was afraid of hurting him and myself. So I definitely, I feel like I'm usually the one being left.
Yeah.
But I've never like successfully done that. So like I'm proud of you for doing that, because it is like,
I know.
it is hard as fuck to hurt
it's
somebody.
It's so
like,
hard
to prioritize yourself like at all ever when you like deeply care about this person, but like once you realize that it's like,
it was like honestly one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like I literally like threw up afterwards. Like it was just like, because I'm about to do to this girl what so many people have done to me, that like has made me like self-harm, trigger warning, like all that type of, I'm like, now I'm about to do that to her, when I know how that feels to like be abandoned like that. But it's also like, growing up, it's like I didn't abandon her, they didn't abandon me. It's just life plays out like that. Like you can't, so it's just hard.
But yeah, and I feel, because honestly, like my dude left me, and like I was upset about it, but I feel like I'm really like okay now. Like it hurt, but like you like move on and you get it, because you don't want to be with someone that doesn't want to be with you. So like,
and that gave me peace too. Like when I left her, I was like, like people have left me like directly for someone else. Like I didn't do that. I didn't say I fell out of love with you. I've also been told that before. So it's just like
that.
I'm like, honestly, what I did was best case scenario, because I was just need to work on myself. But anyways, it still hurts. But it gave me peace. I was like, I know I moved on from that hurt. So she will too, but it still doesn't make it any easier. But yeah, so overall, me and Fiji are extremely dry about our relationship.
Okay, and our last category that we asked you guys was, how do you feel about your sex life in 2023? And 58% of you guys said wet, 29% said dry, and 13% said confused. And I'm surprised that many of you guys said wet. You're fucking lucky. I feel, you know what? I think I got it mixed up. I think I said dry for relationships, and I think I said confused for sex.
Yeah.
I think I fucked it up. I did it backwards. But I definitely feel confused, because I had like a lot of really good sex with my situationship, and like maybe that's why I stayed so long. Like it was nice to like have an actual like physical intimate connection with someone for the first time, and honestly a minute, because even with my ex who I dated for 3.5 years, our sex, like our relationship just bled into our sex life so much, and I feel like it had been years since I had like good sex, I think. So that was really nice. But I did start the whole first half of the year celibate, which I think I needed to do. I had a lot of meaningless sex in 2022. But yeah, I'm confused, because I miss having consistent sex, and I don't want to be celibate again, because now that I had it, I want it. But I don't want to keep doing meaningless hookups.
Right.
So
yeah, I feel like for me, like at the beginning of 2022, I was still working at the strip club. I haven't worked there like since. So I'm definitely wet that like there was no like strip club interactions in 2023. And I think that like subconsciously, that's definitely a reason why I wanted to be celibate, because it's not like I was like fucking everyone at the strip club, but I was doing sexual things. I was constantly just a sex object, like naked as fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like wide open on stage, baby. Those were the good old days. I actually like, I still have my strip club duffel bag, and like one of my accessories like fell out, and I did smell it, and it like kind of brought me back a little bit, because it like smelled like, not sex and gross, like it smelled like perfume and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, that's crazy. Because I definitely don't want to go back, but like it was like very fun, you guys, like at times. But Yeah, I think I definitely have like an amazing sexual connection with my ex-girlfriend. That is probably the highlight
Yeah.
of the whole fucking year because let me tell you, it's been dry as fuck. Like I really have been celibate for the majority of it. I had so much
Yeah.
meaningless sex at the end of 2022 trying to get over my ex-boyfriend. Fucking bitch.
At beginning of 2023, we had like Autumn was
Horrible.
in Atlanta and we had some shitty
That
sexual
felt like a strip
encounters.
club experience because why the fuck did
Yeah.
I do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like trying to make him into something I wanted. Like I was instructing him what to do and it was just weird. So we really fucked up and took a major L by starting the year like that. I think
Yeah.
sometimes we can be a little bit too superstitious, but I definitely think it affects things, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't fuck my ex-boyfriend this year, so that's great. I also
Yes.
did very much enjoy our sex, but looking back, I feel like it could have been better. Like I think I was a little bit blinded. I don't think it was as good as I thought, to be honest with you.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just dry. I'm confused, but I'm also hopeful for the future.
Yeah, I'm definitely hopeful for the future. And guys, like I also feel like masturbation this year, I grew a lot. Like I feel like
That's all
I
I've been doing,
definitely
baby.
like all I've been doing, like I'm just like, why have like meaningless sex to fill a void or because I'm horny or like I've just like whatever. Like I can please myself. And I feel like I used to like hit people up just on some shit or like whatever because I was like horny. But like now, like I just like please myself more. And I always used to be a very ancient bitch and use my hands, but I did get the rose like a few weeks
Ancient.
ago. Ancient, like that's like old times.
I know.
Like
I
the
still
hands,
do. I
like,
used
you
my
know?
hand last night.
Really? I like don't. I've been like on the fucking rose lately, so I'm like I don't know. Like the hands, like it's not doing the same for me. But I
'Cause the
had a
rose?
vibrator like. The rose is like, it took me a minute to get used to for sure, but now I'm definitely used to it. But I had the rabbit like a while
Yeah.
back, but then my ex threw out the charger, so I didn't have it for a minute, and I just had my hands and didn't buy a vibrator. But when me and my situationship ended things like the first time, I was like, no, I need a vibrator. So like, I feel like my masturbation has been lit. My fantasies, like I know more of what I want, and
So
like
clear.
all of that is like very clear to me. I just like I did not want consistent sex. I was not thinking about it. I was good. I was fucking chilling until I got it, and now
You want it back.
there's a hole in my life.
I know. Because going from consistent sex to not having it is crazy. And especially like being as celibate for as long as I have, like we're going on what, 9 months? I'm basically pregnant and I'm having a baby
Yeah.
right now. Like I'm just like,
Celibate
that's
baby.
crazy. You know what I mean? But I'm so nervous to have sex next time but I know it's like riding a bike. Like I'll be
No,
fine.
you'll come so quick because I swear to God, when
I'm going to be like,
I
another
literally,
person,
like,
a human
would
being.
come so quick. Like, oh my God, like a body. Like, no, literally, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I feel like I've definitely become way more intentional about like sex, and I've definitely had slip ups in between with meaningless hookups and meaningless sex and blah blah blah. But overall, I feel like I know myself more, and I feel like my body's more of a temple that I like just want intimacy. I want intimacy, and I don't just want like dick, pussy. Like I don't want.
Yeah, and
that.
I feel like for us, like 2024, like we really just have to stick to it and be like, we're not gonna fuck people that don't fucking deserve it. And it's like, even if we want to fuck them, like if they suck, no, like we're not just gonna do it. But at the same time, I don't want to lose this like sexual freedom I have of like sucking dick in the bathroom and not feeling guilty about it.
Yes.
Because I honestly think it's rare and special, and all you bitches are mad, like, you know, like that's slutty, like that's gross, that's scary.
It's fun,
it's
though.
fine.
But that's one thing that I do think I started to do this year too, is like when I went out, I would make out with people and like touch them and like whatever and be very like sexual, fun, flirty, but then not fuck them. And I think old Fiji would have been like, oh, like it's just a natural progression. I have to fuck them. But like, I think I've found ways to like be sexual and like be fun and like whatever without
going
like,
all the way,
feeling bad about it. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Like we love just like teasing in public, like grinding up maybe a little by like just a little something. But then going home and watching
And
a show
masturbating.
and turning on my rose and popping off.
Yeah,
Every time I use my
exactly.
rose, I have to like change my whole outfit pajama set because it's just I get so wet. It's crazy.
No, I do too. I always have to take a shower after. I'm like, yeah,
Because
like
low
this
key,
is
we've
just
talked about it before, but it's like sometimes you masturbate, you go to sleep, and like you're so tired, you don't have time to like change, and it's like very unsanitary because it's like
yeah,
girls don't like come like guys do, obviously,
yeah,
but my shit's fucking flow. I don't know what comes
yeah.
out. I feel like I'd be squirting at this point because I'm like, that's
It
crazy.
gets wet as fuck. And I like masturbate for such like I think I have a problem. We have an
'Cause
episode I think coming up about masturbation, but like I literally like will masturbate for like 45 minutes
yeah,
to like
that's
an hour and
crazy.
long like cuz I'll like stop and then I'll go
Well,
again and
duh,
like
bitch. I don't know how you can't go continuously with the rose for 45 minutes.
well it'll die and then I have to charge it. Like
And you're like sitting on
I
the
might
floor. No.
like my sex drive is like not like OD like on a day-to-day basis, but once I start, I want to keep going for like hours. So
You
I
would
don't
make
know.
a great lesbian for that, Fiji. That's
Right,
wonderful.
right.
And straight
So,
men will be
yeah.
like, no, like we like to go for hours too. Nah, y'all fall asleep.
Straight men need to learn how to have. Actually, that brings us into our trends of 2024. I have this on the list, but I feel like that should be a good trend. Of I have had some lesbian sex with men in 2024, and I fuck with it. Like, can we? Like, I need men to. I feel like they've been learning more about foreplay and like all of that stuff, but like men just like fuck me like a woman would. I don't know.
I know, and it's so funny because when I got fucked by a man like a lesbian, like we were
You were
making
like,
fun of
fuck
him. Like we were like, what the fuck was that? Like, I'm not hooking up with a girl right now. Like, use it. Like, what are you doing?
But I'm like, no.
But it's cool because it's like I'm very unique. Whereas like if I'm with a man, I do just want them to fuck me. I don't want to do all the
Yeah.
parades and rose petals. I really don't. But like with women, I do. So that's what I mean. Like he fucked me like a woman because I. But that's so
Yeah.
fucked up to say. Like I'm not trying to be misogynistic. Like you guys get it. You guys get it. But that tripped me up. What was I saying?
I like it. Fuck me like a woman. I mean, still, like, it'd be great if we finished off with your dick. But, like,
Because it's
a
like
woman first.
they should learn how to not just use their dick. Like for me, keep doing it. For everyone else, like y'all want more. Like you want different. Like I
I
don't.
want it to last a long time. And a lot of guys, after they come, they're fucking snoring.
Which I
And
get
it's
it.
over. And I'm like, wait, we need to finish this marathon.
Yeah.
Like, you feel me? So, but yeah, I think that should be a trend of 2024.
Right. And
I'm
you know what's
projecting it.
crazy, dude, is like honestly, I don't care when guys like finish and don't make me finish because on God, I don't think I really want to come in front of them. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to let them in like that. But with women, like, yeah, you're going to go until I'm done. So I'm like
I
a
feel
weird
like-
bisexual. What am I?
I feel like with a man, I feel you, but it's only because I'm gonna fall in love with you if you make me come. Like that's just
Yeah,
like
'cause you're
what
very-
happens.
yeah.
My like oxytocin just fucking skyrockets, and now we're bonded. So I feel like I don't want them to make me come unless I see a future with them.
Like, and that's cool, bro. Like, I respect that for you 100%. I mean, I did come with my ex-boyfriend the first time we hooked up because I had never fucked a guy in that type of way that I like matched with on a dating app and like was genuinely down and all that shit. And I came immediately. So, and I did fall in love with him and I didn't think I would. So I get it. But yeah, the trend for 2024 should be what?
The trend for 2024 is that men should learn how to fuck women like women do.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Men need to start fucking like women.
Switch it up.
Yeah. Foreplay is the name of the fucking game. All right. Other wait. Wait, I did that first. Okay, but before we were supposed to do one more poll before we got into the trends, but we'll do the poll and then we'll do the rest of the trends.
Okay, yeah. I'll read the poll. This poll is basically just which category do you want to focus the most on in 2024. So we got out of the way how we feel about 2023. Now, what are we focusing on, you guys? What are we doing? Okay, winner of that, personal identity. 52% of y'all want to focus on your identity. Love that. 32% of y'all are trying to fall in love and want to focus on your relationships. 16% of y'all want to focus on sex. I hope all of those are men, and it's that you're focusing on sex. You're learning how to fuck like lesbians
Foreplay.
do. Foreplay, all that shit. I think for me, like, I want to say relationships, but like, why am I so scared and unavailable? I just don't know. So I think it's still identity for me. Like, I think I want to focus on my identity the most, just be fully comfortable in who I am, maybe get some abs or something, like just have a great time.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I feel, I mean, the personal identity needs to be the foundation before the other two. So like, I feel like
I'm still at step number
one. Yeah, like, so I feel like for me though, honestly, it's still personal identity comes first, but I feel like I want to focus on my personal identity in my relationship.
Okay.
I feel like I kind of want, I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of want a person. Like I don't know if I want a relationship, but like I liked being a lover girl. I liked being more in my feminine energy. I liked having consistent sex. I liked having someone drive me around. I want
Fiji wants to fall in love.
I do. Like, look, I do, but I'm not going to fall in love with anyone. But I would not be mad if I found
what's wrong with me, bro?
A relationship in 2024. Bro, you've had a lot more consistent you're earlier in it than me.
Okay.
You know, like I got out of my relationship was longer and I got out of it earlier.
Yeah.
You got out of your shit and then back to back got in another one. So like
classic rookie move, bro.
Yeah. Like you're still working through.
I'm still talking to my ex right now.
Right. Exactly. So like your personal identity, I feel like makes a lot of fucking sense.
Right. Which is fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do I want to like cuddle with people and like love people? Yeah, for sure. But like, just I can't show up for them right now. I can't because I need to give it all to myself. Like, I deserve it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at. And that's fine. So personal identity for me, personal identity within the relationship space for Fiji. And y'all should hold us to it because I'm scared.
Yeah, I swear to God. All right, so let's get into our trends predictions. And we pulled some research for 2024. Like we said, men need to fuck women like women fuck women. That's one trend for sure. Another one we pulled from Essence, and they said value alignment over superficial values. And then they said the more society heals and does self-care and healing work, the more attuned we become to our values and alignment. In our quest to be more aligned with our higher selves, we require potential partners to do the same. So this prompts folks to have rough conversations up front. People will talk about children, religious beliefs, family connections, future goals sooner. Thoughts on this?
No, thank you.
I know. I don't know about all that up front, like first date vibes, but I definitely feel like values alignment over superficial values
is definitely a thing going down right now.
Because I feel like also just like how TikTok's become more popular versus Instagram, where Instagram was like showing your life in the perfect way, and now we're a lot more raw. Like I've always been more attracted to like artists and like people who look cool but then are low-key homeless and like don't have anything going on. Like I feel like I want to find people who actually like like men with values that are not misogynistic, and all that shit is big. So yeah, I feel like that's a good.
And I also just feel like our world in 2023, like politics and religion are not what it was, you know, a while ago. Like, it's very much like, I look at politics like, what human rights do you believe in? Because at this point, I don't give a fuck Republican, Democrat, what the fuck. Now it's just like, you know, that monster in our White House, like all that shit is just like really hard for me. I'm like, damn, I can't believe that you know, because it's not just politics. It's literally like human rights.
Exactly.
So it's just like, it kind of does need to be said up front. And I have been in relationships with people, like my ex-boyfriend too. Like he was a fucking, you know what I mean? Like he was fine with Donald Trump. Yeah. Like black man, like fine with it.
Yeah, the last guy I talked to was like kind of on the border of that, and like definitely had a lot of views that, I mean, I feel like it's all men. Honestly.
But I didn't care as much because I didn't take him seriously.
Right.
But it's like someone that I've been with recently, like our views are very different.
Yeah.
Talking about my ex-girlfriend. And it's really hard because I do take it seriously. Like, I just think, I don't know. I think in 2023, it's just a different story. Like 4 years ago, I probably wouldn't give a fuck as much what political party you're a part of. Like, do I think Republicans are fucked up? Yeah. But I also think, like, Democrats can be too. Like, honestly, I'm not with either of them anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just like woman, gay. I just want that person to be president.
Yeah.
So
honestly, well, this is going to be an election year too. So I feel like politics will be like way more
I'm nervous.
Forefront.
Everyone's saying that he's going to get reelected again. Like, my dad literally
Donald
just
Trump?
said that. Like, that's, yeah. And I'm like, isn't he in jail? Like, I'm sorry. I don't really keep up with it as much. But, like, he just, I think, has so many connections. Like, I think if you and I did what he did, we'd be away for life. But it's just like he just keeps getting out of it. And I'm just like, I'm nervous as fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
We might have to move, but I'm down.
Like, right? I wish. Get me a green card. Maybe I should meet someone from a different fucking country. And
we're not even, we should be nervous. Everyone should be nervous, but it's not even going to be bad for us. Like, that's what it's like when Trump was elected the first time. Was my life changed in any way? No, it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, all the abortion stuff, but that's not even directly related to him. Like, that's like the state government. That's like all this other shit. So it's like, we're not even the ones that need to really be scared for our lives, but I know people that would genuinely be scared for their lives if he was elected
and even
again.
with the abortion stuff, like living in Georgia, thankfully I haven't had any like pregnancy scares or whatever, but the laws here, like,
you just come right to me, darling.
Yeah, honestly, I would go to you or I would go to my family in Connecticut or like whatever, but like, yeah, I feel like I do need to like tap in more to the politics, but like I used to be so tapped in to the point where I feel like
you really did.
Like, I feel like I need to focus more on, like you said, like value alignment versus like political stuff, because I've also had to realize that like I feel like I do a lot more research and like knowledge and reading about certain stuff, and I expected people to be there too, but I've had to learn more that people come from different backgrounds and some people don't give a fuck about certain stuff, which is fine. Right. But
I know, because I don't want to hate as much as I have in the past, and like I know it's possible for me to like be in love someone that has completely different religious, politics, everything. Like, I know it's possible.
I don't know if it is for me.
But it's just like, I wish I could be like, oh, I just don't care because it doesn't matter. But it's like, today, it's just so fucking different. Like, it's literally just, politics is not just politics anymore. Y'all can say whatever you want, but it's literally human rights. Like, that's what they're fucking debating about. Like, that's crazy.
And it comes to like our identities too, because like for me, I've been with men who have had like weird views about like women and like sexual assault and rape and violence and all of that, and like I'm like
trans people,
right? Like I'm like a domestic violence survivor, like whatever. I wouldn't say that's like number one.
Bitch, don't air quotes.
Well, I have a weird time like saying it all the time. I don't think that I'm like an activist. Like it's my huge identity. But, like, it is still a part of me, and I feel like I've dealt with men before where I'm like, yeah, I can't. Like, that's something I cannot, like, be on the verge of, you know? So, like, I don't know. I still feel like, but I don't always follow that, and that goes back to the whole boundaries thing. Like, you can't expect this other person to,
that's what I'm saying. You know? Like, I can be like, yes, like, I want to be with someone that wants to fight the patriarchy with me. But at the end of the day, like, honestly, my first girlfriend was the only person I've ever been in love with that we were eye to eye on fucking everything. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah.
Second girlfriend, boyfriend, last girl. No. I don't think not even close.
I think I've had people that were like close. Like 2 of my relationships I think were close, and like some had like different views, but like I feel like I've yet to meet my person that like values wise like really aligns with me. So like priorities for 2024 is definitely relationships, and I feel like that's like a good trend goal for people overall.
Yeah, I don't really know. But anyways, the next one, another like predicted trend for 2024 is like a lot of virtual meetups. Virtual meetups before formal dates?
Yeah, okay. I thought that too, but then I thought about it because you know how we talked about 2023 and how people were like, oh, we just want to meet up first. This is what a date should be. This is not what a date should be. I feel like it's going to have a switch back, and that's what this article from Essence said. And it kind of makes sense. Like, I would kind of like how we both said we want pen pals low key. I would rather FaceTime you or talk on the phone before I waste my fucking time going, you know?
I think I would feel the exact same way. But I think I've just been in so much long distance shit. I literally want to delete FaceTime off my phone. Like, I'm done. I want in person. But that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And I feel like it makes sense because it's like this whole trend of like people don't want to waste their time. All time is fucking
Valuable,
money
yeah.
and our energy. So it's like, I don't want to meet up with you until we FaceTime because I want to see what you actually look like. Like, FaceTime, like, you're not in the room with someone, but if someone stands up on FaceTime, like, you can see them just as well as in person, right? Like, it's very
vibe, like,
yeah, you can catch their vibes so hard. Like, what are the, awkward silent moments like, like, is it chill? Is it weird? So I think it makes sense why that's going to be a predicted trend for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see what else does it says. Yeah, it says many say they value their time and want to save it, meeting someone they can't even catch a vibe with over the phone. So people are gravitating more towards FaceTime video calls and phone calls. Yeah, it makes sense. I stand by it.
Yeah.
Personally, no, but it does make sense for like general
I feel like
population.
it depends. Like, off a dating app, like I said, I went on a lot of shitty, not a lot, but like most of the dates I went on off dating apps were shitty. If I had had a phone call with them before, I probably could have caught the vibe and not gone.
Right.
You know?
So it's not just like we want everything to be virtual. It's just like we want to take that virtual step an extra little bit further so we can avoid the shitty date and we can see them on FaceTime. But then it's like, what happens? You FaceTime, you hate them. What? You ghost them?
Like,
I don't know how to deal with that.
Feel chemistry, same as a date. I don't know.
And you just shouldn't feel bad about that, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. All right, the next one.
that.
This is from, I think, a different article. Maybe it's from the same article. I'll link the sources in the bottom. But parallel playtime is going to be a trend with people in relationships or situationships. And I low-key, like, love this. This is, like, what I want in a person. And it's pretty much the idea that, like, you are both like doing something in the same room but not interacting. So like, say like one person's reading while the other person is doing work.
Dude.
Like that.
I was just talking about this with someone. Ugh. I was just talking about this with my coworker because she's in a relationship and we both play The Sims and like we always talk about The Sims. And she was like, and she was playing The Sims. Like she sent me a picture with like her wine glass and her weed and The Sims in the background. I was like, we're literally long lost sisters. Like we are the same. And then I'm like, what's your boyfriend doing? And she's like, oh, he's just watching football, but we're next to each other. And I was like, you know what? Stop fucking insulting me. Like I want that so bad. Like, because I don't want someone that we do the same exact thing. No. We watch every movie together. We, pick every, like, we go out on every walk together. I don't want that. Like, I want us to do our own thing, but in the same room. That's fucking foreplay, bitch. That's so hot.
Like, and I get so turned on by, like, people who are, like, actively, like, working on themselves, doing work, like, creative, like, whatever. Like, there were a couple times with the last dude I was talking to where I was, like, editing the podcast in one room with you and he was editing a video in the other room, or like we were in this, like that is like why I thought we could have been good together. But like, I don't know, it's like you can be together, but like social exhaustion is a thing. And like
and if you're gonna be together a lot, then you live together.
If you live together, like you can have quality time without it being so like forced and structured,
Right. And sometimes that's fun. Like, obviously, we all want, like, a date night. But I honestly feel like the parts that, like, make you really fall in love with someone are, like, the little, like, random things like that. Is, like, I can, do. That's, like, something you didn't plan it. It just happened. And, like, we love that.
Yeah. And it's, like, again.
Parallel playtime. Next, like, I'm just going to recommend that to people. I'm going to start, like, bringing it up. It's, like, a new term.
I know. I was, like, parallel playtime. At first, I thought it was, like, a sex thing. Like, a masturbate.
It sounded a little bit like how you're, like, because what do we always say? Like, we like to just kind of, like like kind of do some foreplay when you're out and like play with
Yes.
each other. So then when you get home, I thought it was like giving that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not sexual at all, but
It's more
it makes
chill.
my
It's
pussy
wholesome.
wet. So
Okay, so this next thing this article talked about that we definitely want to mention is that another predicted trend for 2024 is like living apart together. And at first I was like, what? But basically it's like people are committed, married, what have you, and they're not living together. They're not sharing the same bedroom, like that sort of thing. And it says the New York Times previously cited a 2022 US Census that found that 3.89 million Americans were living apart from their spouses that year. So that's fucking crazy.
yeah.
And that's what makes me think 2023, it was even more. And then 2024, it's going to be a whole thing. And I feel like I do think about like the whole you live together, but you have separate bedrooms. Because I've heard a lot of my friends like talk about that and just people in passings. Personally, I'm not really sure. I definitely feel like I'd want my own like office space with maybe like a couch to nap on.
Yeah.
But like I do want to be like fucking in the same bed. I don't really care if we share a closet. Like I'm not really big on that. But I do think it's really cool because it's definitely kind of transforming monogamy a little bit and
Yeah.
being like it's okay. And I think that people in monogamous relationships might feel like they're moving too fast. They want to live together right away, but the same room feels like a lot.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people our age are doing the separate bedroom thing.
Yeah.
The being married and living in separate houses is fucking a little bit crazy to me though. Like
See,
why
I
are
don't
you
know, because like honestly, after I lived with my ex for what, like pretty much essentially the whole time, which was like 3.5 years. And like
Yeah.
I like this.
When
is
was he
big
not
for me.
around?
Yeah, right. Like when was he not? And that was different. I don't think it was a conscious decision. Like let's move in together. It was more situational. But like I definitely want to live alone right now for the unforeseeable future. Like even if I meet the love of my life, like I love my space and I love my place, like my apartment. But even if I like had a house with like a spouse, oh my God, we're rhyming. I would at least want separate bedrooms and one together. Like, I don't know, like not to say I would always sleep apart from them, but like I just feel like that having your own space and like having that like separation where like sometimes I want to spread out in bed and not have you in my space all the time. I don't want to be codependent. Like I want like room and like autonomy and like all of that. So I get it. Like it'd be ideal for me, honestly.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'll just get a king mattress because I want to spread out too, but I'm trying to sleep together. Like, I get it. I stand. I don't think I want my own bedroom. I think I want my own office with a nice couch nap situation. Somewhere to go when I'm upset. That's mine.
Yeah.
Or not just upset when I'm,
Just
want to be. I mean, the ideal situation is like we're rich. We have a house in LA, a house in New York, a house in Prague, and I can go by myself sometimes too. So, because I definitely feel you. Like I don't know. I've never lived alone before. Yeah, I never have. I definitely want to experience it one day, but it's just like weird. Like I want to be married and like live in the same house, have the same bedroom, but at the same time, I can't really see myself doing that. But it's also like we're young. I just like people get married so early and like it's just so stressful. It's so stressful.
I honestly like I feel like me, like whenever I got in long-term relationships, I just felt like that was the progression to like live together. And like after doing that, like who knows, it could be different with the right person, but I feel like living together makes your relationship more boring and more just like intense.
You don't miss them.
You don't miss
ever.
them. You don't have your space. So like I really feel like even if I meet the love of my life and I feel like I'm going to be with them for a while, like I want to take my fucking time living with them at all.
I'm not trying to live with a romantic partner for the next 4 years.
And that means like if I'm with someone like long term, like they can come sleep over for a couple nights. I could go sleep there. Like that's still cool, but like I still want like I don't want to share a space 24/7.
Right. Let's talk about the next one, though. We'll talk a little bit about masturbation. I feel like Fiji and I, we both consume a lot of content. We've been seeing a lot of ads for like vibrators. Obviously, we did our first sponsorship this year with a lube company. Shout out Mochi Melt.
Mm-hmm.
Our code is still active if you guys want to run that bitch up for 15% off. So wet, so dry, the O's are zeros. But anyways, I feel like the O's are zeros. Like, I hate doing that, bro. But I feel like it's becoming more of a thing. And I've heard a lot of straight people, you know, you've had experience with this where it's like the man doesn't want to use the vibrator or the fucking, you know, double-headed dildo because they feel like they're inadequate and they can't compete with the powers of the vibration.
A dildo just sounded crazy to me.
I know, I'm so sorry. I was trying to like make it funny. Like, why would you use that with your straight couple? You wouldn't.
Yeah, no.
Why would you need two heads? But anyways, so I feel like that's going to become way more of a thing. People are being, you know, more accepting of it online. I feel like for a while there definitely was like a stigma. Like if you promote these type of sex brands, no one's going to want to work with you. But I don't think it's like that anymore. I think we like see it more in like normalcy. And not even just vibrators and lube, but just like vaginal health and like birth control. Like you hear so much like ads about it now. Like there's not just one option for these things anymore. There's like so many options and there's some great companies out there for sure. But I love it. And just masturbation as a whole, like everyone's celibate, everyone's single, working on their personal identity. So we're masturbating till the end of time, it looks like. I don't know.
No, honestly, I feel like just like knowledge about like women's sexual health is just like a big trend and it's going to continue to be. And like you said, like celibacy, I feel like that's another one going off of 2023 where I think a lot of people are still going to be celibate or just prioritize like more intimate, like meaningful sex versus just hookup. So that leaves you with vibrators. I would love to fucking try a remote control vibrator like that.
Stop.
I want so bad.
Me
if there's
too.
a company out there that wants to, not that I have.
Wait, explain what it is in case they don't know.
In case you guys don't know, I was literally on like remote control vibrator TikTok the other day. Like I don't even know.
I can't do it.
I want it so. Me and the guy
so bad
talked about it, but I'm like, ugh, we never got there. But anyway, it's when you have a vibrator that just kind of like goes into your like underwear, like it like attaches, and your partner has the remote, and so you're just out and about, and they can just be like, zzz, zzz, zzz.
They can be from anywhere though.
Yeah, I think you can do it long distance.
How does the electric shocks?
I know. I've seen apps, and then I've seen like literal remotes.
The app makes more sense. The remote, there has to be a distance limit, bro.
I don't know.
This some like old guy in fucking Japan can make a bitch's pussy in Italy. Like I don't know, but I'm just like there's no way. There has to be some sort of limit.
There has to be. We should look that up more. Honestly, like that would be
I want one
a company
so
like that
bad
to sponsor us so bad. Like if there is a company out there fucking listening that has a remote control vibrator, like that is my fucking dream. I will promote the fuck out of that. But again,
and buy it myself.
I don't have a partner, so it's like
yeah, you could find someone to click it for you.
Yeah.
So it's like small, it goes in your underwear. And your partner can literally press it whenever they want. So you're like giving a speech at work and they decide to, you're like, ah.
It's like exhibitionism, like for sure. It's all those
so
things.
hot.
Like,
and you could text them, be like, okay, I'm about to go take a walk to the coffee shop. Like, just so you know, I'm in public. And then they're like, ah.
And on date nights, like across the table, like you're trying to order and they can
stop,
like,
bro. Like that's a dream.
It's literally a dream. I want it so bad. If there's any listeners who have used one, like please submit your stories so I can like live through you because I swear to God.
Like some fan fiction. I want that shit to be descriptive when you let me know.
But yeah, other trends, I feel like we said, like the whole celibacy thing, any other ones, those were kind of the ones we pulled from our research. But I'm trying to think.
I feel like
go ahead.
We talked about bimbo core, but I feel like that's just going to continue to like go all the way up. Like style's always ever evolving, but I really feel like style also has to do with like where the world is at and shit. You know what I mean? So I feel like the bimbo core and the like ultimate like femme energy coming from like men, women, non-binary people, everyone is going to really continue to pop off.
Yeah. Like accepting your femininity, because I feel like that, I didn't really talk about it in the relationships part, like kind of briefly, but like I really feel like I went on a journey with personal identity and relationships and just being more feminine, almost to like I almost flipped it too much in my relationships because I do like my like masculine qualities, but I feel like women are like embracing their feminine sides more and dating and like not being as girl bossy, but being like letting men take the lead on certain things or letting the masculine or whatever, but also like masculine people being more femme too. I don't know. The gender roles are just like getting more blurred, but at the same time, I think the gender war is going to continue. And it's going to be this mess. I don't know.
I think there's just going to be like also not really related to identity, relationships, or sex, but there's just going to be more podcasts, like so many more podcasts, because which is kind of scary, but also good.
Yeah. Well,
because we love content.
I am always looking for new podcasts. Like, if you guys have any recommendations, like I literally am always looking for new ones because I listen to them like 24/7 when I'm working. But yeah, there's probably going to be a lot more like annoying alpha males that are going to come out with shitty podcasts that are, you know, I mean, we saw Fresh and Fit get demonetized on YouTube.
Fresh and Fit
get demonetized. And like, hopefully that will become more of a thing where it's like if those types of podcasts that are more like toxic or whatever are being more censored, then like maybe that culture will like disappear more into like the dark places of the internet and not as much in our like regular
in
conversations.
Yeah.
Because, and I think too, like we are, like we talked about in our gender wars episode, like I hope that men and women and all genders can like find a middle ground and like how we want to go about our sex, relationships, and identity in like the future versus like be so at odds. Like we don't need to have a war. We can listen to each other, and hopefully there's more podcasts that have like spaces to do that versus like coming at the other side.
I'm down to have a war like on like December 31st, and like we can all just like get it all out,
right?
Bro. Like just fucking go, no violence, okay? Well, like women can be violent, but like the men can't do anything.
Right?
Like they kind of just take it.
It
from
can
us.
just be like a man being like, "What do you bring to the table?" and a woman be like, "Pay for my drinks." Like,
yeah, exactly. Like we just let it all out, acknowledge that it's happening, and then 2024 we try to find middle ground because I'm scared that I just don't think some people are ready to find the middle ground. Yeah. We're ready, maybe.
But hopefully
I don't know.
Find each other. Hopefully all those alpha men, they find the women who
But
are
I think
okay
women
with that.
too, like they want to be mad
women
still.
Too. No, women too. There is a lot of, and I think that goes down to like accountability and like also like personal growth. Like being bitter is a real thing, and being frustrated and being hurt and like all of those things are so real. But I think a lot of times we need to step outside of looking at everything as like it is so black and white and that's how it is, and like do some reflection on like what boundaries have we set for ourselves and the type of people we give our time to. Like I'm so guilty of that. Like men are trash, da, 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 da. What men am I choosing to give my time to? So like I hope that that's a trend in 2024 where we stop looking at everything and be like, oh, like it's the state of dating, and more like it's the state of our dating pool, and maybe we need to like broaden our horizons, you know?
Right, exactly, dude. And I feel like because it doesn't feel good to be like men are trash. It doesn't feel good to be angry for so long. So it's like the middle ground, finding that really is like will be released for like a lot of women. I honestly think because like the more that I come out of my like man hating phase, which I still feel like I'm like a little bit in, I'm like ankles deep in it, but like the rest of my body's like free because I'm just like, it doesn't feel good to hate them. Like, I don't need to fuck with the ones that I hate. Like, I could name some good ones, maybe, like half of one. It's just like, so it's hard. And at the end of the day, it doesn't feel good. And exactly, we need to broaden our horizons. Maybe we're part of the problem. Like, why? Because there are good guys out there. We just don't want them because they're boring and ugly. But we need to get over that. What's more important to you, values or looks?
And I think that's going to be like the last trend, I feel like, that we can say. Like, I feel like that's the last, it kind of goes in together, but I think women through coming together on TikTok, sharing stories, like all of that, like these podcasts, this content, like are realizing that we all have a common problem of just like standards and what we've had to put up with. And like, we can blame it on men all day, and I think we have, but like, I think a lot of women are taking accountability and like becoming celibate, choosing not to put up with those things, like raising the bar for what they accept and like realizing what they can do about it. And I think that's going to continue, and it's either going to be, so there's only a small pool of men that are good out there. Like, it doesn't matter. And I think more of us are okay with like being alone until we find that person while we work on ourselves. So like, all those shitty men, they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna go through their own crazy ass identity crises, but like, we've realized, I think, our part to an extent, and we'll continue. But like, I don't want to make it about them. I want to make it about us.
Right, because all we can change in the immediate moment is us. We can't change them. It was just wasting more energy being upset. And sometimes it's fun to laugh about it. It feels good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, just focus on your own behavior, like the people around you. That's literally all we can do. We can't fucking, start a war like we like.
Right. Though that would be nice. Like, just like a catharsis. Everyone get everything
I mean, we
out.
could just go to Reverie one night and incite a riot.
Here we go. Men on this side, or femmes in mass on this side. Whatever. But okay, that's like pretty much most of our trend predictions. Like, we'll have others throughout our episodes. You guys know we're always going to stay up to date with what's happening online and in our lives and in your lives. So if you have a topic that we didn't talk about, definitely let us fucking know. But since we talked about pretty much what we're wet and dry about throughout this whole, and confused about this whole episode, we're not going to wrap it up that way like we usually do. But we will finish off with a couple listener stories. So I'll read the first one, and I think this one is like just perfect for a lot of what we talked about. But a listener said, I want to put more care into my relationships. I want passionate sex, no random hookups. And like, fucking men, like, passionate sex is like the name of making my pussy wet. Like, I love passionate sex. I thought I liked random hookups. I fucking don't. So like,
Fiji's like in a Renaissance movie.
Like, I literally like, I'm like turned into like the woman in the tower. Like, I don't know. Like, I like want to like smell you and be like, yeah.
No, but I love that for you, because you want to go all in. You don't want to half-ass the experience.
Yes.
And like, you're a sensual bitch. Like, you're a Pisces. Like, it honestly makes so much sense.
Yes.
But I feel like I'm proud of this listener for saying that. It's like the no random hookups, like emphasis on no random hookups.
Yes.
I feel like we can probably all relate to that being something we want to, fix in our lives, especially if you're in the like late teens, 20s space. It's like, we want to just, we don't need to get married. Like, we're not 30,
right.
but
even
not
if
that
you're in
even
your 30s, like,
yeah, even
like
I know we're not 40.
Yeah.
We're not 40.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a universal experience. Like, no more random hookups. I think we should all just live by that for this next year. Okay, and then this next listener said, just vibe, twin, and shut the fuck up. Why are you submitting our
I like didn't like the way they submitted that either. I feel like that might be their theme for 2024 is just vibe, twin. Which,
okay,
like,
yeah,
I kind of like relate. Like, I feel like I'm not putting like OD pressure onto relationships. I'm not like gonna like dig in deep to make this fucking work. I'ma just vibe, and if we fuck with each other, if we work, we work. If we don't, we don't. Peace.
Right, because like we shouldn't have to put too much into it. Like, it should just be that simple.
Yeah.
Like, relationships are work, but like at first you should be able to just vibe. Yeah. Like, it shouldn't be
and then you'll
like
see if you want to just work on
and
it.
you'll see if you want to, because the work comes in when the relationship, gets longer and you want to keep it and you're like, blah, blah, blah. But when you first meet someone, you shouldn't have to question it too much. You really should just be vibing. And also just not even just relationships, with sex, identity, like, just let it happen. It's all good,
Trust the
you
universe,
guys.
baby. And then our last one is from someone who is in a relationship, which we didn't talk about, not our experience. We're unfortunately single, or fortunately, I don't know. But they said pretty much that they want to explore more like kinks and different types of sex, like with their partner, which we love. I wish I don't know if I do, but that's a great place to be in. Like, if you're like in love and your relationship is solid, and then you can just start exploring your sex life more with someone that you like are in love with. So like, it's
fun, and that's like work too, because at the end of the day, like, sex can definitely get boring, but it's like, you know, if you put in the work to spice it up,
Yeah.
you're good. Like, it's fine.
Get a
you know?
remote control vibrator. That's where you fucking start. And then listen to our episodes because we'll keep having, you know, sex tips and whatnot. But yeah,
Always.
I think that does it for this episode. This was a long one, guys. We definitely had a lot
Yeah,
to
sorry,
cover.
guys.
But let us know what you thought. Of course, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, which we don't really use. What do you say that? You can follow TikTok. So what so dry, the O's are zeros. We post polls there. We open it up for listener stories. We post memes for every episode, all of those things. So definitely follow us there. Like, subscribe, share with a friend. All of that helps us grow for sure.
Yeah, and if you guys are listening on Spotify, there's a link in our bio. You can subscribe, be a special listener supporter, and you can literally just pay 99 cents a month, nothing. That's like a pack of gum, not even. Gum is more expensive.
Right.
And then, or $4.99 or $9.99 for you big ballers, okay? So it would mean the world to us if you guys want to subscribe. We will honestly send you a thank you note, handwritten. I will, personally. And yeah, but that's about it. Just make sure to subscribe. We love you, and we will catch you in the next episode. Bye. Getting a ride home with a man that's not your boyfriend.
Flirting with a man at the bar to finesse a drink.
Dressing provocatively on a night out.
Not disclosing that I'm in a relationship to everybody that I fucking meet. Like, that's exhausting.
Cuddling with your best friend.
Liking someone's picture.
Holding on to gifts from your ex.
Having a girl or guy best friend.